Welcome back. I'd like to consider one by one the three properties of exponents that we have talked about and decide if they work with complex numbers or not. Let's give this a go. So property, let's do it. Property 1 says that a to the W1 times a to the W2 is a to the W1 plus W2. Maybe they're lowercase omegas. Who knows? Does that work? And yeah, it does, and we can prove it. A to the W1 is some modulus. Oh, it's just one modulus. Some modulus to the omega 1 times the cosine of omega 1 theta plus I times the sine of omega 1 theta. And then a to the omega 2, yeah, let's just make them omegas because it's more fun that way. Oh, we're going to run out of space. Right. So we know that when we multiply those together, the r to the omega 1 and the r to the omega 2 are okay. And then what happens inside of here is exactly what happened in the last video. And this happens to be a to the omega 1 plus omega 2. We have the modulus being multiplied, we have the arguments being added, and that's fine. That checks. But property 2 says a to the omega 1 to the omega 2 is a to the omega 1 times omega 2. Does that work? They're probably W's. Does that work? No, and there are a zillion counterexamples. Here's one. Let's let a be negative 1. Omega 1 is 3. Omega 2 is a half. Negative 1 to the third to the 1/2. Well, that's negative 1 to the 1/2, and the square root of negative 1 is I. But what's that? Well, that's negative 1 to the 1/2 cubed. That's I cubed. That's negative I. That's a contradiction. They don't match. Because they don't match, the property does not hold. Does not hold. Well, so that makes property 3 the tiebreaker. Property 3 says that a to the omega times b to the omega has to be ab to the omega. Well, let a be negative 1 and let b also be negative 1 and let w be a half. And this whole thing falls apart, doesn't it? A to the negative, well, a to the 1/2 times b to the 1/2, but that's not going to work. That's a contradiction. They don't match. And if they don't match, the property does not hold. So the laws of exponents get weird when complex numbers are involved. Okay, that's probably enough to shed light on what you read, I hope. Fingers crossed. See you in class.